So the first thing we're going to start with is the motherboard. It's the most important part of a computer system. We're going to attach it inside the casing. Get a close-up of that. And you see where these little holes are. That's where the motherboard is going to be positioned, on top of these holes, and we're going to use these screws here and attach it to the casing. Now it's important that the ports are lined up to the back of the casing, because if it's lined up anywhere, basically you know it's not lined up correctly when these ports are facing a section in which they cannot be exposed outside. And so I'm going to show you the back. So you find the part of the casing in which there's holes for the ports, and you position the motherboard like so that the ports are out. Real simple. You make sure the little holes in here are lined up, and then you proceed to screw in the screws and attach the motherboard to the casing. So we'll start. Right? So now, after the CPU is installed, just like I said, imagine that there's a CPU there. We're going to install a heatsink which goes on top of the CPU. And so this is done by just lining up these little screws with these holes here. Let's already put that there. Alright. And then screwing it in once that's there. So once the heatsink is installed, you will attach the fan, the cooling fan, on top of the heatsink. It's important that you put it the right side up. Sometimes it's hard to tell which side is up. The best way to do it is to make sure that the logo, the company logo of the fan, is facing towards you. You can see it when you put it on top of the heatsink, and so it will be correctly attached this way. Usually there will be holes here, and there are holes that you screw the fan to the heatsink. I don't think this is the right fan compatible with this heatsink, but typically these holes will line up with holes on the heatsink, and you screw. And so once the fan is attached, you need to connect it to the motherboard, and the connector for this power cable will be usually right next to the heatsink. And so you find it. This is a 5-pin connector. And you see 5 pins here, usually it's the same color, black. You connect it right there. And if you look closely, there will be words on the motherboard that actually tell you that this connector, this port, is for a fan CPU. It says fan CPU, so that helps, because it's not always in the same place on every motherboard, but it's around the same area, right next to the heatsink. So we attach that. You are. Ho ho. You can stop that. So this is the CMOS battery. Without this, your computer won't start at all. This provides power to the BIOS and to the CMOS, which is a little capacitor on the motherboard that stores the BIOS settings. And so in order to install this, it's real simple. If we zoom in on the motherboard, I'll show you where it goes. There's a slot here. See, it looks like something that the CMOS battery will go to, because that's where it goes. A little circular thing. You just put it in there, like it's almost like installing the battery for your watch. Just put it in there like that and push it until you hear something clicks. And it's in, and that's it.
Okay, this is the power supplies. It's just a big box with a bunch of cables on it. This is the port for the power cable. Also, the purpose of the power supplies is to give energy or power to the computer. So it converts AC to DC, which is direct current, and AC is alternating a current. So what we're going to do, so we're going to put it on the case. So pretty much it's going to be fitted in the back of the case. You'll see it right away. You're going to see 3 screwdrivers right here. So you're going to put it pretty much just make it fit pretty much. important as well that you connect the Molex, which are the white cables or the white ports, into the motherboard. So it's kind of self-explanatory. These are 20 what are they called? 20 pin Molex connectors. So what you have to do is just make sure they're in there. And it is very easy to put in, but it's very hard to put out or take out.
This is the CD drive, and this is very self-explanatory how it goes into the computer case. What you do is, let me turn this around for you. What you do, it has this slot right here, it's right above. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sorry. You just slide it in, line up the screws so the screws can fit into it properly, and you slide it in. Just simply slide it in. And you should hear the click, like you just heard the click, and it's safely secured into the case. Okay. There are two types of permanent memory: solid state drive and a hard drive. This is the hard drive right here, which stores your operating system. You can tell how much memory you have on it by just looking right here. It should have it right on the back. What all your information is right here. It says 320 gigabytes of storage. And I'm just show you how to install it right here into in your case. It's fairly simple. All you have to do is line up the arrows with these arrows that's in the case, and it's really simple to just put in. Just line your arrows up. To bring power to your hard drive, it's the cable right here, and all you have to do is match it up with the port in your hard drive. And it's fairly simple. Just plug it in. It's not hard at all. Just plug it in, and that basically brings power to your hard drive. This is your SATA cable. It transfers data from your computer to your hard drive, and it's color coordinated. It's black, and on the motherboard you have color coordinated pins, or where you plug in your SATA cable with. So the cord is black. Find your black pin connector and plug it in. And on the other end, you plug it into your hard drive, just like you did with the black pin connector. This right here is your RAM. It makes your computer go fast, like Mr. Farrington says. And that's the way I remembered it. So with your RAM, you have RAM ports on the north side of your board. It's very easy to distinguish because they're, you can just match up with the shapes, rectangle.
You put it in, you match the slot here with the slot here. It doesn't matter which way it goes. If you use the wrong way, it won't go in properly. Line it up and just push. You hear clicks, and that's it for the RAM. And so that completes the assembly. Last thing, top of the case. This model, you don't have to screw anything. You just simply match it. The notches here. And just drop it. And that's the assembly of a computer system.